Hi, Yvette Van Veen here from Awesome Dogs. We've been helping our puppy Karma get over a fear of balloons. We've had to make some adjustments, so I hope you tune in. And if your puppy or dog has any fear or phobia, that what we've done helps your dog out as well. Now, when you're dealing with fear, typically you deal with something called systematic desensitization and counterconditioning. Big words, basically they mean you gradually expose the dog. Usually owners are told to pair scary things up with treats. We tried a couple strategies with Karma and we're going to show you what worked and what didn't. Just to give you an idea of her reaction to balloons, this little bit I happened to be recording the first time she saw a balloon, so I do have video of that. And as you can see, she's not too impressed, and she's decided that she's going to try to escape the situation. Now, I wouldn't ever force a dog to stay and face its fear, and I would never ask them to do this just for the sake of getting video. So you just want to repeat, this is not something that I would intentionally do, but we did have the cameras running when we had the balloons, and this is her reaction. She saw the balloons, took a good look at them, and decided she needed to back away. And the more information she got, the more she decided that she wanted to back away. And then we managed to have her around, or we had balloons in the house for some time. We put them away, but she wouldn't even go in the room that had the balloons in them for about a week. So she's definitely got an issue with balloons. So owners are usually told that if you take treats and you pair them with the scary thing, that oftentimes dogs will get over their fears because the treats will make the scary thing feel a lot better. And usually they're told to start far away from the scary thing and gradually come closer. So this is where we did start. It is a pretty standard treatment. And then we'll show you the results from that. We began with Karma far away from the balloons. And gradually we brought her closer. She was getting some special treats as we brought her closer. We did manage to get some gains. However, there's parts of this process that I'm not really impressed with in terms of Karma's results, and also in terms of the way she's reacting to the process. So when I'm looking at a dog and deciding whether we need to change things up a little bit, then I'm looking at, are they comfortable in their own skin during the process? And do I see them making gains, or do I see them wanting to retreat? Here's a still from that same last clip of videos, and so you can take a look at Karma's posture. So while she may be taking the food, her body's actually saying that she's pretty conflicted about it. And if you look at her nose, she's stretching, her ears are back and her neck is reaching out towards the food, but the rest of her body is saying differently. Her paws are pushing away from the direction of the balloons. Her back end is crouched down. Her back legs are ready to sprint off and her tail is tucked down. All of this body language is telling me this is a dog that wants nothing more than to go in the other direction. They want to escape. And when I'm working with a dog, I actually want to make sure that they start liking the thing that scares them. At this point, many people think that perhaps desensitization doesn't work, but we need to sort of check our assumptions first. So maybe it's not the distance that's such an issue, but we need to be making things easier and breaking down the steps better. So, for example, a bunch of balloons versus a single balloon, perhaps a balloon on a stick, it would be easier, and even easier than that is something that has a balloon shape but isn't a balloon. Here we are starting with the almost like a target stick, but it's got a balloon shape on the end. And you might say that's too easy, and that's exactly right. Karma doesn't see this as a balloon, and therefore she's not stressed out about it at all. And she's learning the behavior, and then we'll move towards some of the more scarier things. When we've practiced enough with that stick with the little plastic balloon shape on the end of it, then Karma's ready to go move on to a real balloon, but not quite yet a big floating balloon. So what we're going to use is this balloon on a stick. And Karma is still enjoying the process. That's an important part of this. If we break things down into small enough steps, she'll be able to enjoy the entire process. Then it gets hard because we're actually moving towards balloons now. I'm only using one at this point in time. I've also made sure that it's not bouncing around a lot. And I understand that it's hard, so there's some times during this process where I'm just rewarding Karma for getting close to the balloon. And if she happens to knock it and she startles a little bit, then what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I give her a reward just to kind of make up for that slight bit of push that probably shouldn't have happened quite so quickly. Now, if she does sniff it, if she does touch it, she's getting a click. Now the click, just for those that don't know, what that does is it replaces the word yes, and it means that she gets a treat. So when you've been hearing me use the clicker throughout the video, I've been telling her that that's what I expect her to do, is touch the balloon. And the control and power is in her court. If she's not comfortable yet, she's going to let me know, and she's not going to touch something that scares her. One of the things that I want to make sure Karma gets used to is that balloons do often move in unpredictable ways, and they also make unusual sounds when they bang up against each other. And presumably, at some point, she will see kids running with balloons. So I'm feeding her a treat. She's sitting calmly. Notice that she isn't reacting fearfully like she was in the previous exercises that we did. And that's something that I really like to see, that the dog isn't upset by the exercises.
Did you get it? Get the balloon?
The final step is for her to take on a full bunch of balloons. And if she's done her homework, or if I've done my homework, then this step should be just as relaxed as the previous steps. And although both steps use food, sometimes you have to change your approach a little bit and challenge your assumptions that perhaps we didn't identify the triggers correctly the first time, and that can happen. But desensitization works really well if you identify the triggers correctly and break things down. So let's compare a still from this second altered desensitization program. Both of the treatment plans were very similar, but there was a change in terms with how we approached it. And the one main difference is that her body posture is very different. In this instance, her entire body is forward, her ears are forward, her shoulders are forward, and she's also very attentive and very calm. So when you're looking at the dog as a whole, this is a dog that isn't struggling through the desensitization process. I hope our journey with Karma, helping her get over her fear of balloons, is something that can help you see fear and desensitization in a different light, and hopefully it can help you help your pets feel better too. And if you have any questions or comments, would love to hear from you. We can always be reached through our website at www.awesomedogs.ca.